Here we are at Jim and Alexis's Delow's house. We did their kitchen a few months back, and this is one of the services that Micka Cabinets offers, a full-blown design. When we first started with Jim and Alexis's house, they weren't sure exactly what they wanted to do. They had a kitchen cabinet area right here, and the wall came out to about right here, and it made the kitchen a very confined space, and Alexis wanted to open it up. And Lisa and Alexis worked diligently on this back and forth for quite a while. They fine-tuned it pretty good, and I think Jim and Alexis are very happy with the net result of all the hard work that they put into laying out their kitchen. And now I have Jim with me right here in the kitchen. Jim, can you tell me what you think about the net result of your kitchen?
You know, really what happened was it went from the beginning to the end where it was somewhat of a confined space. And Lisa and Wayne and the rest of the team came in and drew up some plans and basically opened up this whole kitchen from like a 1970s era kitchen to you know, looking pretty nice, like it was just done, which it was. And they went and even suggested some coloring. This used to be a very dark kitchen. I must say a dark charcoal brown. And they went to a more modern a tan cabinet, as you could see. And it really has given up a whole feel of a place where everyone wants to stand around. Now, believe me, I don't know that much about kitchens, or I wasn't really all that involved in the design or everything. But when it was finally done, and I walked in, and it took a couple of weeks or so, and I walked in, I was like, wow, what a difference. Now we'll have parties. And, you know, if we have a lot of family and so forth, we'll stand around the counter here. And the first thing that happens, especially when any of the women walk in, is they look directly at the cabinets. And as you can see, like, there's one here in the corner. There's more of a custom cabinet and so forth. Then all of these down here, when they brought them in and looked at them, I said, well, how about the dark ones we had? And Lisa said, that's not going to work. And we wound up putting in, you know, I couldn't tell you the names, but I do know that the Micka Cabinets was basically their ideas, and now you guys can see the handiwork. Hey, everybody, once again, Micka Cabinets with us here at our house. Alexis isn't here right now, but Lisa Belinsky did the design work. And Lisa, what is this? This was the part I didn't understand in the beginning. I'm like, why do we have to do all this? But now that it's here, I got to tell you, it's really nice.
This is actually one of my favorite parts of Jim and Alexis's kitchen. This is a buffet. It's actually meant to look like a piece of furniture, but it wraps the whole kitchen together. To give it a more modern look, we obviously went with the lighter colors, went with the beveled glass, which we have 9 different assortments of glass to choose from for your custom cabinets. And we did a little bit of the under cabinet trim and the bump outs, just like we said, to give it a little bit more modern look and a little bit more furniture accent to the kitchen. Exactly the same thing as the buffet. We wanted to try and give it a little bit more of a custom, modern look, more to look like a piece of furniture than just a piece of appliance in your kitchen. Kind of wraps up the whole cabinetry with the rest of the kitchen and gives it the wood a warm look too.
All right, let's move around. As you can see, it's kind of an open feel now. It was not this way before. When we moved in here, it was a kitchen that was built in 1975, so we wouldn't even have been able to move around like this. And that was kind of the idea when Alexis came to you, was give us some room to throw a little party.
Right, and actually that was one of the things too. Jim had a very dark 1970-ish looking kitchen, very closed, and the whole look we wanted to achieve was a nice open, airy feeling, so the family and parties and stuff, they could enjoy it. And I think by removing the walls, adding lighter color cabinets, the more modern appliances, it really opened up the whole kitchen. And Jim and Alexis have both told me how much you guys enjoy the kitchen, and they use it so much more, and the great room that is attached also.
So let's take, if you could just swing around and then come back to us, you could get the idea. It's basically a large L, and then we'll bring it on back over here to the stove and this area. So what's the idea here?
The idea here was we wanted to give it, again, a modern look. We made it consistent. We added all the underwood trim again. We brought in the buffet along with the kitchen with the beveled glass. Alexis chose the stainless steel cabinets, the stainless steel appliances, which are very, very modern today. And she went with a very contemporary look. It's a raised panel Sedona cabinet. It's in maple, which maple is now the most popular wood species. And we just wanted to tone it down a little bit. We didn't want to keep anything dark. We wanted to keep it light, airy, and flowing throughout the whole room.
Okay, coming over here to the corner, which is, I think, the part that they had the just from listening, of course, I didn't have that much to do with the design, but I know you were trying to. This was not an easy spot to figure out what to do. It's kind of cramped over here.
Right, and the thing we were trying to do is two things. We were trying to make it look open, trying to give it the airy look, but obviously give Alexis the most cabinet space that we possibly could. So what we did is we played around with a couple different ways because we knew we were going to be losing walls, which meant we were losing cabinet space. So what we wanted to do was just keep everything open and keep everything where she could gain the most space out of her cabinetry that she had.
Okay, now we'll look. They designed everything down to the lighting. As you'll see, there's actually a specific light that comes straight down here on the what do you call this, where the sink is not separated, single tub sink here. But as you walk around here, you'll notice all the chairs here, and sometimes when we'll have family, which we have a lot of, we'll have even more chairs around here. And we used to have our little parties. We'd have it out on a kitchen table or into some of the other rooms, but now there's only one place, and we'll get 10 or 12 people standing around this little area drinking chips and so forth. So we have the dishwasher here. So, you know, just reiterate what you guys were thinking when you designed this.
Again, we were thinking modern, we were thinking convenience, we were thinking family in mind, and there's a lot of things with our 50-plus years experience between Steve, Wayne, and myself that the average homeowner doesn't quite think of, like just like Jim said, the light above the sink and small details like that, and we hope you'll let us use our expertise to help you make the best possible kitchen.
Once again, you probably never thought you would hear your WJOB morning host saying this, but it's really a cool kitchen, and they did a great job for us. Once again, I'm Jim Dedelow. In our own kitchen here in the Calumet region, we use Micka Cabinets, along with a number of other sponsors to redo our kitchen. Believe me, it was overdone. But the number one thing that I think has changed here was in the way that Lisa designed the kitchen is that it used to basically be 2 rooms. We had to knock out a wall. And as you can see, this is an older home. And in older homes, it's really hard to get the feel of one large room where we have kind of a lot of family, and we don't necessarily throw a lot of dinner parties, but we have a lot of communions and just graduations and just getting together on a Sunday. So we may have 25 people here on a regular basis. We never really had one room where everyone could kind of hang out until Wayne and Lisa came over and told us, you know, why don't we open this whole thing up? We never really had that idea, but you can see right now you have a living room with a TV back here and so forth, and some of the kids will be hanging out here, and the adults will be able to stand over here above the rather modern looking area. The cabinets, I do want to talk about that. I know this is basically when it says Micka Cabinets, but it really, I guess, should be more like Micka Kitchens, because they came in and told us, you know, or not told us, but suggested a lot of different things. As you can see, these are maple cabinets, and they're extremely solid, because even now, Alexis will be kind of mad at me when I'm sitting here talking and I'll be like leaning on them, and I think I've done that on every one of these things. So not only do they look nice, they're pretty durable. Along with I have a stepson, and I have a couple daughters, and a ton of just kind of hammerhead brother-in-laws and brothers, and these things get slammed. People get kicked into them. We wrestle in here with the kids, and they'll slam into them. So the durability was a factor for me, and quite frankly for kind of a large family. And that's what this whole thing did. It made it a living area, but not necessarily. Sometimes you go into a kitchen and you'll see it, and it'll be like, oh, well, that's beautiful. And then you're telling your kids to put their hands in their pockets so they don't break anything. That's not the case here. All the glass, as you'll notice, the beveled glass, we have beveled glass here, and then right behind the camera here, we'll get a shot of that as we go away. But the beveled glass, as a Micka Cabinet team here, was all to be up high, because we got a bunch of kids that are gonna break this stuff. So it's just turned into a real living area. That's all I wanted. I didn't want anything that was too pristine that you couldn't roughhouse in here a little, or when I bend my fat butt down to pick something out of a cabinet, the average man's is gonna lean on it and so forth. But it's a completely durable and living area, and I think that is the number one factor once again, for me. Micka Cabinets, man, they did it. I had nothing to do with it. Let them do your work.
Thank you very much for your time.